In this video, we are going to study the register organization of the CPU, that is, different registers that are present inside the CPU and their functions. So first of all, the thing to note that this is the highest level in memory hierarchy, the registers which are present inside the CPU. So accessing these registers is the fastest way to have the data transfer operations. And in memory hierarchy, they are at the highest level. So they are divided in two types. The registers in the CPU are divided in two types. First type is user visible registers. There are general purpose registers which can be used by users. So specifically, these are used by the machine language program. So for different operations, the machine language program is written using the user visible registers. The second type is control and status registers. So these are present inside the CPU and they are used to control the different processor operations or internal operations of the CPU. So these are the types of registers we are having, and we will see them one by one. First of all, let's look at the control and status registers. So these are registers which are basically essential for the instruction executions. I hope you saw them in the CPU organization video. So let's just quickly recap which registers are required in instruction execution. First of all, we require program counter to store the address of the current instruction and to compute the next instruction address. Program counter, then we have instruction register which stores the current instruction that is to be executed. Then we have memory address registers which stores the address of the external memory that is to be accessed. Then we have memory buffer register which contains the data from the memory read operation that is to be transferred to the CPU. So these are the different registers which are going to be frequently used during instruction execution, and these are the essential or must present registers for the CPU operation. The second type is nothing but status registers. The status registers contain the current status of the program that is executed, and the example can be program status word, which contains the current instruction or the program counter and the different flags or flag register. The flag register is nothing but it gives the different bits of the flag give the information about the current result that is obtained during instruction execution. So the different types of flags we can have in the processor are like sign flag, zero flag. So they decide the type of result, or they give the properties of the result that we have obtained, and also they can give the current operation that is in progress, like such as interrupt servicing or the processor being in supervisor mode. These registers or the flags available to the user, they vary from the processor to processor. So in different processors, we are going to find different types of these registers. Yeah, I hope you have studied the concept of flags and status word in basic 8085 processors. Now let's look at the second type of registers that are nothing but user visible registers. So these registers are accessible by the user through machine language program and are used to carry out different operations. So the three basic types of these registers are, first of all, we have data types. Data. So these provides the temporary storage for data transfer between ALU and other memory operations, such as you write an instruction like add R1, R2. So it gives that you have to add R1 and R2 and put it back in R1. So these R1, R2 are present inside the CPU, but they are accessible to the user, and user is using it to carry out the addition operation through the ALU. So this is the classic example. The second types of register in this type is nothing but address registers. So these are used as pointers to various memory locations. So let's look at the examples of this. So we have stack pointer, then we have stack memory. The stack pointer always points to the address to the top of the stack. Segment pointer, when we have memory segmentation done, so segment pointer can give the starting address for each memory segment. For index register also gives the index when the indexing is used in the memory. This register stores the appropriate address required. So for different memory operations, some certain addresses are frequently used, and these are stored inside these registers uh, for this purpose. In this case also, you will find different processors have different types of address and data registers which are general purpose or used by the user. The third type is nothing but control word or the control register. So these control registers are in most of the processors, they are read only registers, so you cannot modify them. You can just know the status or the different flags that are present in the current execution of the instruction. So the example is flag register. So this register is only visible to the programmer, and it can use it to know the contents of the status word or the current status of the program. In some processors, again, these control words can be user accessible, so that he can change the certain control bits to set the flag registers as per the requirement. So again, it depends on the different processors, the type of processor you are having. So I hope you have seen all the. I hope you have understood all the different types of registers that are present inside a architecture. Now, I have given you a very general point of view. Each processor is going to have different register organization, and which needs to be studied individually and independently. So stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.